Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hey, Cece. Hey, Joshua. Let me get my charger. Sorry. 1 second. Good morning, Fifi. Let me just get my charger. Give me 1 second. Okay, thanks. All right. Make sure because my battery is getting low. Don't want it to. Okay. How's everyone doing today? Happy New Year. I think this is my first live of the 2025. I just realized, did I go live last week? I don't remember. And I wasn't supposed to go live today. I was supposed to be at the lab getting my blood work done. But I had to shovel. There's some snow last night. And by the time that was finished, I had to have a snack. So the fasting is finished. I have to go maybe on a Monday morning. Yeah, I would have to have gotten up earlier. So I shoveled. It's only 9 o'clock or 9:30 almost. And I've done like 50 things. I have to feed the animals, check their water, let them out. I had to shovel the snow off of their run roof because the light wasn't coming through. I had to shovel, and I told off the neighbor's tenant. Today is a show about nothing. We'll talk about stuff, but so yeah, I told him off. It was time. He needed a telling off. This is what happened. We're just getting right into it. This is what happened. I'm shoveling my half of the driveway, and at that point, I was at the front steps, clearing off the front steps, the landing, and a little bit going to the side towards the gate to go to the back of the house. So I cleared everything off, make sure it's safe, sidewalk is clear. I see his wife was out there shoveling. The shoveling was half-assed, just half-assed. Yeah, yeah. I had to tell him no, because these people are rude. And this new year, this new supposed new year, because New Year's in the spring, you're gonna hear it. And you're going to hear it if you're making me have more work to do because of your laziness. I'm not just telling off people. We're not out here doing that. So he did not shovel his half of the drive. Good morning, Carbon. And did I miss anybody? So he did not shovel his half of the driveway or the sidewalk. His wife came out and shoveled it for him. First problem. That just pissed off my spirit. It just woke me up, and I was like, it's been a good day. I canceled my workout because I'm going to shovel, so that's going to count as the workout because I can't do both. It's a lot of strenuous work shoveling. So I said, okay, I'm just going to shovel. She shoveled the place kind of half-assed. She didn't even shovel. And there are people in this world who just do the bare minimum. They shoveled enough for them to get out, but there's a car parked next to them. And when that tenant shovels, he shovels all of it because you can't just shovel. It's so petty. It's just ridiculous. So she didn't shovel anything extra. Fine. She's the wife. I didn't really blame her because it's his responsibility. She don't drive, and I don't think she has a license. So she's doing this for him. First red flag / triggering. That the man have her coming out. This is a young man, more like a little boy, but man, him have wife, so him a man. Why are you sending your wife out to shovel and clear the way for you? Okay, fine. I'm shoveling. He comes out, moves his car. He comes out into the road right in front of my driveway, not his half, and decides to clean off the car. Good morning, Erica. Decides to clean off the car. I was watching him, I'm like, okay, he's in the car. Maybe he's just waiting for his wife to come out to go shopping or to the laundromat. I don't know. I'm watching him for a few moments. Good morning, she said. The man decided to clean off the car in front of the end of my driveway. I said, no, sir. I said, no, you're not. And then my voice was echoing. I didn't realize it echoed so much, but when you're the only one speaking, it just bounces off the houses and it sounds like a whole, coliseum. I said, no, you're not. Huh? I said, I clean my half. Don't add more work for me to do. You go clean your half. And if you don't want to, put the snow on your side. Don't come over here with that. I know, I know. I said, you know, but you're still doing it though. You're still putting snow on my side. I said, and I'm like, yo. I said, you and your lazy ass. And I just, your lazy ass. I watch you and your lazy ass. You sit here and have the woman shoveling for you. Don't come over here with that. So the man get in the car quickly and drive off. And he went around the block and came back, I guess, to pick up his wife, who never came outside because I was still outside shoveling. He came back around and he was just like, and then he left. He had to come back yet. So I moved my car, like I usually do, with the snow on it, in front of my lawn part. And I put the snow onto the lawn, and then I bring my car back in. So it saves me having to shovel again. But you don't put it in front of my driveway. Like, who are you, sir? So yeah, they started off kind of, no, that man's lazy. So I called my neighbor and left her a voice note and told her that this has got to stop. Good morning, Whiteside. This laziness has got to stop. She just had surgery. I don't even know if they know all that, but the point is she's an elder. I don't know why she's tolerating this half-ass tenants. If you're going to shovel the sidewalk, I expect you to shovel all of it, not just the piece that's in front of behind your car. I was like, and I tried to keep quiet. I tried to stay out of grown folks' business, but they made it my business by shoveling the snow and pushing it on my side. He left very quickly. So hopefully we can be civilized. But yeah. So I was supposed to go to the lab to get blood work. So I asked my doctor to check everything under the sun. I said, check the iron, the usual stuff, check all the minerals. I also did not like the appointment because this is just weird. This New Year is just weird. This is an omen. This is going to be a strange New Year, guys. Very strange. I went to the doctor and she's coughing and sneezing with no mask on, telling me how sick she is. I came here to see you. And if you're not well, why are we closing doors? Like, leave the door open. I don't even want to be in the room by yourself. Like, what are you talking about, lady? Coughing, sneezing, no mask. I said, okay, it was all masks 4 years ago, but now she's coughing and sneezing right in our face. Okay, cool. I talked to her about some stuff, got some stuff changed, and I'm seeing better results with my blood pressure, but I'm dropping asleep at lunchtime. So I don't know if it's the medication or what, but it probably is because I wasn't so tired until I started the meds on Sunday past. So that's being addressed, and I'm waiting for me to do the blood work so she can check and see what the levels are, and then we could take it from there. But I'm finding they're not doing any kind of, well, I'll say she's not doing any kind of like question asking, diagnostic, figuring stuff out. I have to tell her what I want, and she does accordingly. The only thing that was weird, I asked for a black doctor for a dermatologist. She goes, oh, I need a dermatologist. I said, yeah. Can you recommend me to a black one? She's, oh, I don't know. I said, don't you have a directory for that stuff? No, I can just only go by name. So if you're going by name, who are you going to refer me to? You had somebody in mind. No answer. So I have to call someone to get the list of people to find somebody that I want in my culture. So I have no dermatologist yet. It's like, I know there's a directory for like languages that you speak and stuff, so that if you want to speak a certain language, I said put in like, hey, Food Force. So that's a dead end. If I didn't ask for a specific nationality, it wouldn't have been a problem. So here I am still struggling to find a dermatologist. So I'll go back next week and figure that out. Hey, Shawnee girls. So that's going on there. So the WIG is going on now for those who are already in it. Hopefully you're seeing some production. I see most of the people's videos. Everyone's doing well. I know Nicole Groves is like doing very well and has even pop-up tomatoes. So check out her videos and anybody else with the hashtag WIG 2024 to see what they're doing. I'm having some issues with some of my germination, but they're okay so far. And hold on, let me just drop the link. So that's going okay so far. I am doing the deep culture method or whatever it's called for some of the other plants, but my germination has been very inconsistent. I opened the pods for the eggplant and the other red cabbage, and I could literally see the seed. So the seed didn't go bad. So I put it back down. So I'm having a long time for germination. Let me see. Whoops, hold on. Whiteside saying there is a directory, but most of the time you have to Google. That's what I'm gonna have to do. So it's like she made me feel away for asking, but I need to yeah. Hold on, let me just go back to the chat. Go back. Give me a second here. Send them a bill to see if they paid for work. Yeah, today wasn't the day. Yeah, the doctor that was sick. She was sick. Weird. The whole waiting room was like coughing sick people. Um, I'm taking my ginger. I just had my ginger shot. I add to it before I drink it. I add my oregano, my cayenne pepper, my sour sap leaf, my immunity thing, and I'm now adding wormwood, and I'm doing something else. I haven't got no. I've been out with amongst sick people, no problem. Okay, send them. Okay, I'm just going down. What did I miss? Erica, hold on, said something. Okay, I'm going through the same thing with my insurance company. Like, I don't understand. I pay all this money, and you don't want to. Nope. Mm-mm. Good morning, CP. They do not. It's bad. And somebody was addressing the secretary there. It's bad. Like, if you're hoping that they're going to help, they're not going to help. They are not going to help. Yeah, that's exactly the problem I'm having. I have to go and look up a directory, figure out from the names or maybe the language that they speak, and then see their picture or check some directory and find the doctors that I need. On my way to the fisherman for Picard. Okay, cheers, Howie. And okay, I got everybody, I think. So that's what's happening here. Now back to the seeds. I don't know what's going on with you guys if you're having, I know we've mentioned it last time. The germination is slow, and there's nothing wrong with the seeds. I don't know what's going on. The sponges have been sanitized with peroxide, and I'm using distilled water, except for the 6-gallon one. I'm using tap water that's been sitting for 48 hours. I don't know what's going on. Good morning, Wild Edibles. I don't know what's going on with the hydroponics germination that is, and the peat pellets. I put the heat mat out. I'm still not getting germination. And the bok choy, that popped up in a couple of days. So it's not the seeds. It's certain seeds do not germinate for me well in the peat pellets or the sponges. Maybe the temperature is too cold in the house, because I do run my house a little colder than most. But the lights are heating it up. I don't know. Something's weird. Somebody help me with that. Okay, so I'm starting my seeds already. Most of you guys who are in the southern parts have already started your spring garden. I am starting some seeds now, but mostly for indoor growing. So I'm going to up pot them to soil that has been sanitized, or I'm going to put them in the 5-gallon buckets. But I'm trying to start some seeds now, especially some of the herbs. I know the herb garden challenge hopefully is coming up this year. I think it's March. You can let us know, Fifi, if you know, for the planter HGC 2025. But some of the herbs that I want to grow have a longer germination rate, and I don't want to wait until the herb garden challenge. So I'm going to start a few now and see how it goes with some potting mix. So that's what I'm doing. I think everybody in the community has been working on their apothecary, their medicine herbs. I'm telling you, the last 12 months, I've been taking my herbs almost every day in some form or fashion with my ginger shot, with the tinctures or having teas. And I have been around some people who have been sick. Everyone's children right now is sick over here. Maybe not everybody with that walking pneumonia, lung infection thing. Some people left church 2 weeks ago, and I was near them, and the kids went home during service. They weren't feeling too right. So it's going around, but I haven't gotten anything, and I'm not going back to 2020 with the locking up business, which you're trying to do, kind of. I'm not doing that. I think that made me more sick. Again, this is not medical advice. I think it made me more sick not being around people and then getting around people and then getting sick. If I was around people the whole time, within reason, I'm not saying go within reason, living a regular life, I would have had a stronger immune system. I think that's what, so I'm not doing that this time around. Herbal tea books. The only one that I have, well, the one that I have, which is a beginner, which is very good. Hold on one second. Let me go reach for it. It's good enough. Hold on. Okay. This was a pretty cheap book on Amazon, and it's called 20,000 Secrets of Tea by Victoria Zak. Z-A-K. Or Z, you guys say Z, Z-A-K. The most effective ways to benefit from nature's healing herbs. And it tells you about the physical ailment, and then it lists a couple of the herbs underneath it. It doesn't tell you how to blend them because you have to blend them how you prefer, but it tells you which herbs, and then it tells you, oh my goodness, there, that's the cover of it. It may have changed. And then Renaissance Grandma recommended maybe a year or two ago now a book off of Azure Standard, Penny C. Royal, and it's called Herbally Yours. It's same thing. It gives you the ailment and then a list of all the herbs underneath it, and then it also gives you cold formulas and actual blends that you can blend in some of the sections. Let me just take a look at here quickly. Yeah, it gives you some blends here. So you can use all of them or just some of them on the recommendations and how to make some basic tinctures. That's the book. I think it's $5 on Azure Standard. So if someone's getting an order, or that's that one. And this is enough. Sometimes you want the most complicated books, and I think it's simple. Keep it simple. And then the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. This is the other version. There's a newer version of the same book, updated version, which is a bit more expensive, but this one is fine. Hold on, I'm trying to get the angle. That's the cover of it. I know it's kind of, but you'll recognize it when you see it on Amazon. I think it's about $20. Good Lord. Okay, that's the best it's going to get, guys. It's called the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine by Andrew Chevalier. And I think the printing company is DK. This is very popular on Amazon, so you'll see it. And it goes through in color, which I prefer than the other two books, the picture of the actual herb and some of the history of it. And, some pictures of the plant, of the leaves, of the fruit, so you can kind of distinguish them, and the origin of the plant and how it was used. And then it gives you how to prepare it, the cautions, the warnings, and all that stuff. For instance, yeah, so the first page, shows you yarrow. Oh my God. But you can see like there's colored pictures. Not really, sorry. Anyways, this book is useful. A lot of people have this book, and there's another book. I don't know if I have it here. And if you're trying to eat more plant-based, give me a second. Let me get the other book. This book is from Dollar Tree, which is actually a good book. Okay, this book is from Dollar Tree. It usually sells for $25 US, but this is the book. It's like $1.50 at Dollar Tree. And it's called But I Could Never Go Vegan. And it gives 125 recipes. You're not going to like all the recipes. I can tell you that right now, but some of them you will like. So there's a cover there. You can get that at Dollar Tree. So there's a lot of books at Dollar Tree. If you go there periodically and take a look, you'll find some herbs and other books that I guess they are discontinued or they're not selling at the other stores, and they'll sell them there. So check out Dollar Tree. You can get some brand new books for cheap. So those are the books that I've been using. I try to eat plant-based a couple of times a week, or yeah, a couple times a week. I don't eat meat every day, but sometimes I kind of end up doing if I make a bulk of something. Hey, G Mama, I think someone said hi to you. I don't see you there, but oh, there you are. Yeah, so those are the books I used for now. There's and then the other book that was at on the 12 days, the seed harvesting book that was given out. I think two of us, Erica and myself, gave out the book. That's a very good book on how to preserve seeds. You'd be surprised that maybe you're not preserving the seeds the best way, or harvesting them at the most optimal time. So that will give you some tips on some unique seeds that you may need. Because if your seeds aren't collected properly, it's really of no point. You're going to have to let one of your plants go to full maturity so that you can harvest the seeds. So when you're planting your garden, um, you have to keep either one whole plant or certain pods of the plant to full maturity, like full maturity, almost going the tomato almost going well, kind of splitting, going rotten. Then you harvest the seeds because those seeds are going to be very viable. Don't take shortcuts because you're going to pay for it later. I was shopping for seeds this morning. Again, I shouldn't be shopping for no seeds because I have, how many seeds I have never even opened yet. I was looking at the prices of some of the seeds, and if you're looking for the latest, plant or the latest thing, the prices was ridiculous. Mind you, it was like a 500 seed quantity of seeds. I don't think anyone needs 500 seeds. That's for like a commercial grower or a larger farm. So to pay for 500 seeds, to me, it just didn't make any sense. And they didn't have any smaller packs. So I don't know if that's like the launching. They launch out 500 seeds minimum, but it was too pricey. I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to grow my same old seeds that I have here, and that's pretty much enough. I don't need to get caught up in this seed addiction again. I bought my seeds already, and that's that. Okay, what else do I need to tell you guys? Yes, so the herbs, I'm taking my herbs, but you have to make sure, and I'm still working on a schedule for myself, the timing of taking your herbs, because if you take medication, you can't take things at the same time. You have to spread them out. Um, and even in the morning, my doctor's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to have orange juice with that medication." I go, "Since when? I've been taking the medication for years. You've never told me that. No one's told you that." I'm like, "You didn't tell me that. Not nobody. You so own that. I can't take it with juice. No, it's only water." I said it hasn't been a problem before, so that can't be the issue now. Why it's not seem to be working. Anyways, you want to always blame you, find a way to blame you, but find out what you're taking and the schedule between stuff. Certain things you shouldn't take with near iron. Certain things you shouldn't take near calcium. Certain like there's all these things, and it's you kind of get confused. So take a look at what you're taking and make sure that you're spacing everything out and have a schedule, because you're taking stuff that's counteracting each other. You're making a mess. You're not making a solution. You're making more of a mess. So go through your medications and your supplements, talk to your pharmacist and figure that out. So I'm trying to figure out, because I added some new things to my list, like the wormwood and some detoxification stuff, to make sure that I'm spacing them out in time. And it's this week has been much better. I've been spacing them out, getting them early, taking a certain one, and then spacing them out throughout the day every 4 hours. And then some things you can bunch together safely. Just make sure that you're doing your research on that as well. Seeds are getting expensive. I saw some for $10, $7.50. Yeah, I think it's too much. And I don't understand this. I watched somebody's channel this week, very good videos, and he's a seed addict, which is funny. But what I don't understand is he said he grew something last year. I can't remember what it was. Let's say cabbage. He grew a cabbage last year. It didn't do well. So he bought a whole pack of seeds again. If it didn't do well last year, you must have seeds left. I don't understand. Like, do you buy seeds just because? Good morning, broke farmer. I don't I don't understand, because most packs of seeds contain about 100 seeds. There's no way you planted 100 cabbages last year. So if it didn't do well, why are you buying more seeds? I I just didn't get it. I think we're buying things just for buying it sake, because it doesn't. If seeds last for at least 5 years, they're viable at least, and that's sometimes more than 5 years. Then those same seeds could be used. Maybe you just didn't germinate them properly, or you didn't put them, like something went wrong with your soil. I don't know. But wouldn't you be figuring that out first versus just buying a whole $5, $6 pack? These weren't cheap seeds. These were $5 a pack of seeds. And red cabbage, I've done it for years, and it's always a problem. That's the most nutritious cabbage, in my opinion, the red cabbages, but it's hard to germinate. I had planted 2 and only 1 came up. And the seed is there whole in the peat pellet. It hasn't broken down. It's just not germinating. So buying new seeds is not going to help with that problem. I don't understand. I think they feel that the seeds are bad, which doesn't make any sense. I know we all have an addiction to seeds. Don't get me wrong. But if you're buying the same pack of seeds year after year, the seeds can't be the problem. I think we're the problem. So that's when we have to go back, as I said, go back to the basics and figure out some of the plants that we're not having success with, either germination, either dampening off, or maybe the seedling just dies when we transplant it. So transplant shock. Find out all the stages of the plant and figure out where you're not succeeding. But I don't think buying new seeds is solving your problem. And it's a waste of money. It doesn't make sense. Cabbage seeds to me last longer because you're only going to plant, let's say, for me, 5, 10, maybe 15. And that's not 15 of the same cabbage. It's going to be different cabbages. I'm going to have enough seeds to carry over. Hey, Rambo, good morning. To carry over, number 1. Number 2 is if I leave one over winter, it will go seed the second year. You shouldn't have to keep buying seeds. I love seed hauls. I do a couple myself. Don't get me wrong, but something's not right in what we're doing. We shouldn't have to keep buying seeds every year. I love the catalogs. Don't get me wrong. And the pictures, you get sucked in, and maybe you want to buy some new varieties, but to be spending $100 on seeds with 3 and 4 companies, because you don't know your people are going to Rare Seeds, they're going to M.I. Gardner, they're going to the other one, I can't remember the name, and 4 or 5 companies. You're not growing enough stuff to justify. Maybe you're sharing the seeds, maybe you're giving them out to communities, maybe you're doing other things, maybe you're volunteering, I don't know. But that's a lot of seed haul. It's becoming a little too commercial for my taste. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's a bit commercialized. It's not self-sufficiency. It's not independence. It's not, using the rules of nature and harvest. Like, I don't know, something's missing in my opinion, because the amount of seeds I'm seeing people buying, and they're not growing enough food to justify. So are we just addicted to the buying of seeds and the pictures on the package, which I do love? Are we just hooked on that? And we're just caught up in this commercialized gardening society? I don't know. You tell me. Let me see what G Mama said. Whoops. Bad seeds don't germinate, and what you put in your seedling mix can affect the growth of the plants. Yes. So maybe I have to check the seeds that I'm planting. Those are store-bought seeds. Those are not my seeds. The ones that are my seeds actually germinated. So it could be the seed mix. It could be the pods. Maybe they're who knows? I'm going to try some in another format. I did pull out the heating mat. Don't judge. No, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I love the seed. Like, I do the same thing, but the extent of how much I do it is not as high as the other people. I have 2 containers, those Michael's containers of seeds, and they're not full to the brim. There's several containers that are not even used yet. So for me, I think that's enough seeds. Maybe a 3rd container, but no more than 3, because it's going to end up just being hoarding and just not being used. And maybe, I guess, seed mist and stuff like that. People give out seeds to people, so they're not being, if they're not using them to share them with people. That's a good thing. But yeah, we know that Cece's a seed addict. We know that already. Cece Mike's chaotic. GT Junior, maybe G Mama, but she hides it. She doesn't do hauls. She doesn't expose herself, but she do. I think, we love our seeds, but it's just, if you think about the money you're spending on the seeds versus what you can spend elsewhere in your garden, I think you'll find that if you cut back your seed budget, you'll have more money for other things. Yes, seeds don't require fertilizer. You want to start a nursery next? Um, yes. So I fertilize after the second leaf comes out. Is that the thing? Yeah, that's what I'm feeling, broke farmer. Like trade and harbor, but we shouldn't be spending so much. Don't get me wrong. I do have a budget for seeds each year and a budget for seedlings. But I think my seedling budget is larger than my seeds because that's the whole point. I want to support the nurseries locally to keep them in business. I don't want to not spend money, but I think people are spending hundreds of dollars and you're not planting all that stuff because some of the people I watch, their garden is smaller, their property size is smaller than mine. So I know you're not growing all that stuff. I think you're just, you have a problem. But yeah, I don't buy that. I'll rather trade with somebody and get someone seeds that are viable. Fruit trees are not really a waste of money, in my opinion. As long as you're not making your garden into a whole, you know, my family had a whole bunch of trees and you couldn't even mow the lawn. You had to duck because there's branches and it was just too many trees. I know folks like there's not too many, there's too many trees. It was too many trees. But now I appreciate the trees, but there was too many trees. Yeah, I don't blame you, Urban. I went in a draw last week. I hadn't been there for a while and had a bag of seeds. There you go. I just think that we're yeah, I got seeds. So I'm gonna be. I recorded 2 seed hauls. One of them is from April. I forgot that I didn't post my gardener haul, so I'm gonna post that because I finished editing it, and I had a Baker Creek haul because I won a prize in the herb garden challenge. So I didn't spend my money; it was a gift card, but still I got seeds. So I'm gonna share that haul, and I got seeds that I needed. It wasn't like I bought a lot of herbs, so that's where I got the King of Bitters and I got some other herbs, which I can never remember the names, that I needed because I didn't see them anywhere here. So I didn't buy a lot of foolishness, and I bought things that I wanted to grow and try. Like I got the Romanesco, the broccoli, or now it's cauliflower Romanesco. I see that everywhere. I didn't see any seeds here for that. I bought stuff that I really wanted, but I didn't just buy nonsense. So I think we need to, well, you do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying reevaluate how much you're spending. Because if you're spending at a Dollar Tree, who cares? It's $1.25 for 4 or 5 seeds. I'm talking about when you go into those big companies with the big catalogs and it's like $3, $4, $5, $6 for a pack of seeds. Sometimes you get 5 or 10 seeds, sometimes you get a whole bunch. You need to weigh what you're spending and how much you're getting. I would rather buy a pack of, I don't know, lettuce and spinach and you get 500 seeds a pack for $3 than to buy something that's going to be so hard to grow, so difficult. Like, do whatever you want. We all want to challenge ourselves, but see how much you're spending each year on just seeds. I don't see the rewards from the videos I'm watching that people are growing all of those crops, all of those harvests. A fruit tree to me is not a waste of money because it's going to grow something. It's better than, not better. It's more convenient than starting a tree from seed. You're going to get fruit in maybe 2 years or less. I don't think that's a waste of money. I think that's a good use of your money. Better than buying all these seeds because a tree's going to do what it has to do. If you have it in the ground, it's kind of do it yourself. If it's in a pot, you have to kind of feed it. But there's more benefits to me in trees than just spending that budget on seeds. In my opinion, no, you don't have to take it or leave it, but just think about it. If you're spending too much on seeds, we're talking about gardening with a gardening shouldn't be this expensive, is what I'm trying to say. We're making it expensive with all this stuff, and it doesn't matter if you can afford it or not. Even if you can afford it, it's not a big deal to you. Gardening shouldn't cost this much. Somebody else should be able to recreate what you're doing for a very minimal cost. So we need to keep trading seeds, yes, but there's too much money. All these seed companies, and there's more of them popping up here and there. There shouldn't be so many need. I don't know. It's just I find it a little bit commercialized. Um if I could stop forgetting where I leave the seed. Yeah, exactly. I'm starting to go to the feed store and buy seeds because exactly. See that I agree with. The feed store gives you a bulk bag of seeds. Sometimes they have it like a bulk barn. You pick like beans and stuff and the dry beans, and it's like so affordable. And you're supporting a local feed store that may be able to help you with other things. especially if you're growing, chickens and you're having quail and you're having whatever else you're having, we need to kind of direct our dollars into better avenues. I don't think the seed stores are putting back money into the communities. I don't think the seed stores are sourcing their seeds the right and ethical way. Because I watched a documentary and it's like these other countries are getting little and nothing for their product, and then we're paying $7 for 5 of them. Something's not right in the business structure. Let me see here. I discovered some delicious lettuce since growing for Oreo. Different lettuces do have different yes and textures. I like the buttery ones, and I like the crispy ones that are crispy and not sweet, but not just not bitter. I'm growing the little gems for the first time. They weren't bitter, but they were okay. My problem is knowing when to harvest lettuce because I like them when they're a larger size, but that's not always correct because each variety is different. So you got to know when the young and tender stage is and when it's now going into an older stage. It's not based on the size. So I ate some of the leaves and I gave some to the chickens because they're a bit old. Probably the fertilizer is not right, but the little gems are quite convenient, especially when you're growing indoors. I'm liking that one. I put my seeds in a cookie tin and an ammo can. Yeah, I think it should be. You have to have seeds in different spots. If you got to make a move for it, then you have your ammo and you have some seeds. I just cooked a whole Cornish hen in my air fryer, so I know I'll be getting quail. Yeah, I'm looking for quail. As I keep saying, I just haven't. My other issue is not the quail and it's not the cage as much. It's the food. I don't know where to access the wild game bird feed. It's not at the main 2 feed stores that I have access to. There's somebody I saw on Facebook selling it, but I don't really want to do that. Buy from just random people animal feed per se, unless it's like an actual mill or some company where that has a little bit more accountability. So my issue is finding a reliable supply of food because you can't give them chicken feed. You're supposed to give them game birds, so like the pheasants, the quail, and the another bird that we have. They have a special feed for them, and I don't think it's pigeon feed either. It's different. So if I can get a reliable source of the feed, because the people who are selling the birds are selling the feed, but I don't know where they're getting their stuff from. So if I can get some more information on that, then I'll go and get them. Like pretty much by the time summer ends, I'm gonna have quail in some form or fashion. We're just gonna figure out how to feed them. Um, but yeah, quail. Nothing's wrong with quail. People say, "Oh, they're so small." So then eat 2 of them. Eat 3 of them if you need that much. But for me, 1 or 2 quail is enough. I'll have lettuce, salads, like I'll fill my plate with other things, not just um meat. I do horrible with lettuce because I don't know the difference between lettuce and weeds. Some of the lettuce looks like weeds. Some of them, yeah. I don't know if you had them in beds. If you had them in beds and maybe have them clearly marked, it might be easier. I put mulch or shavings around the certain beds so I can see the plants easier, and it keeps the bugs off of the plants because the lettuces were attracting like white other things, and the earwigs were chewing them. I put a bit of the chicken shavings, the bedding, and it was much better. But some lettuces do look like weeds. It depends which ones you're buying, but weeds are lettuce. To be honest, you can eat them. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing. Dandelion leaves are good for you. Cleans the blood. So nothing wrong with that. Maybe try some red lettuce too. That's very good for anthocyanins. Yeah, okay, you said the same thing I said. Weeds are lettuce too. Yeah, exactly. Some of the things I bought dandelion. Can you imagine I'm buying dandelion leaf green seeds? And there's like in the wild. I bought leafy sorrel. That's a weed, and something else that we eat. Plantain, not the Caribbean plantains, but the leafy plantain. That's also a weed. It's good for you. And it gives you the balancing of your bitters and your sweets. Hey, Lashes, you have to balance the bitters and the sweets. I know we don't like the bitter stuff, but that's what helps keep your system clean and cleans your blood. It's very important that you adjust your taste buds to eat more bitter greens. Wormwood does not taste nice, but you just got to do what you got to do. Take it in the morning, then have a chaser after of juice. But you have to take some of the bitter. It helps activate some digestive things that are going on. I'm not going to go into that today, but it helps. You have to be able to eat some of the bitters, the bitter greens. The dandelion leaf tea is, we've been drinking that hot. I went to go buy some more for my dad. The shelf was empty. I guess everybody else realizes how good it is, and the whole shelf was empty. They had some other like nettle and other things that I already have that, but I cannot find the dandelion root tea bags right now. So other people are waking up. So these are the things that you should be having. Dandelion root tea, I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. If you do like to drink coffee, this is a good alternative. The dandelion coffee, it's like an instant coffee you can buy. It's called Dandy Blend, but there's other blends. And there's dandelion root tea. They both have good flavors. You can add your stuff to it if you like to add mushrooms and stuff to your coffee, like I do. You can add it to the dandelion alternative. It tastes really good. You don't have that crash and burn that some people have with coffee, and they have to keep drinking it, like in the shakes and the jitters. You don't have any of that, and you're slowly cleansing your system. So you're getting 2 for 1, and it has that nice roasted taste. I'm telling you, try it. If you don't, I'm sure you'll like it. If you like to have your tea with milk and cream, you can still have it with a dandelion root. And sometimes I make dandelion root tea with the Earl Grey. I put the two in the pot and steep it together. And then you have your usual, your cream and your sugar or your coconut sugar, whatever you sweeten with. It's very tasty. So I recommend it, and you're going to cleanse your liver, and you're going to help clean your blood slowly. It's not like a drastic cleanse. Yep, I love mustard, and mustards have a spice to it. I love mustard greens. My spinach is not, it grows well here now that I've learned when to plant it. But your mustard greens, your dandelion leaves, your arugula. I know some people don't like arugula. Um, these spicy bittery greens are very good. Have a mixture in your salads and a mixture in your cooked greens. You're gonna see a difference. You have to focus on that. Hey, good morning, Vision. Bok choy, some of them are bitter, some of them it depends on the variety, but yeah, all it's not hard to cook these things, and we're making things complicated, but these are things that add. I discovered that Italian dandelions leaves better than dandelions that produce flowers. Maybe I have the Italian because mine don't produce flowers, but it doesn't say Italian on the package. It just says dandelion greens. And then I know Italians like to eat rapini, and another one that I got exposed to here. They have the bitter with and bitter goes well with a bit of saltiness. So once you learn how to match our flavors better, we'll enjoy eating this stuff more. But there's no point of growing all this stuff if you're not going to consume it, you're not going to preserve it, and you're not going to, it's not going to be part of your diet or part of your tea drinking. There's no point. Grow what you like, yes, but you need to understand the benefits of what you're consuming. Because if you're not going to consume them, it's not going to do anything for you. Somebody messaged me because their child was sick. The same 2 kids at church that were sick with this. I think it's that respiratory thing. She didn't say, but I mentioned elderberry syrup and some things to her, and then she messaged me to say, "Oh, which ones do I use?" So I sent her the Amazon links to what I buy, but I don't buy it. I said I don't buy it there. I buy it from these 2 stores. Check out these stores, and you can speak to the customer service people that can help you. So, but I told her these are the things you should be taking as soon as like August is finished and it's back to school. Your kid should be taking these things every day as a preventative, because taking it now, I don't know how fast it's going to work for them because they're already sick. So you may have to take this medication, talk to your doctor, it's not medical advice, and then get them on this regimen when they're better. Because if they were taking elderberry syrup when I told her, like from July or August, get them on elderberry syrup, vitamin C, all your the stuff they recommended. Give your kids tea and bitter in the morning. Maybe put some sugar in it for them, but add these things to their morning routine, so when they go to school every day, they should be okay. But I didn't see her last week. I'm probably gonna message her today, see if they're okay. But you have to be putting these things in their system. Yes, elderberry. I found out about it, I think, on YouTube, to be honest, during the 2020, when it was really like everyone was scrambling around. And I've been taking it, and I had my parents on it as well, because the elderberry comes with honey, raw honey. It comes with other things in it. Funny enough, I'll tell you a story, but let me go back to the chat. I'll tell you a story about cough syrup. I think I told it before, but I'll tell you again. Arugula and dandelion are, I'm telling you, powerhouses. If you can find a way to incorporate those things into your salads, find a dressing that you like, because don't coat it with crappy dressing, because that's gonna just ruin the whole salad. Find a healthy dressing and things that you can, tolerate, nuts and seeds as well, and make it a part of your diet. You don't have to just give up things, just add things in. But the cough syrup, my friend's dad, who's now gone. Good morning, Jova. He's gone, but she was complaining because she was buying this expensive cough syrup. It wasn't elderberry, but some cough syrup. And he was taking a spoonful every day. And I'm at a point in my life now that what we think is weird sometimes, we need to step back and say, let me figure out why they're doing what they're doing. Don't always find it weird or lash out at them. So she's like, man, I'm buying this expensive cough syrup and he's just drinking it off and drinking it off. And I said, maybe he needs it. No, carrying on. So a few days later, something came on my feed and I sent it to her. And she called me back right away. It's like, the article said basically elders who have cough syrup daily as a preventative basically helps their immune system. Don't take cough syrup when you need it. Take it every day a little bit as a supplement. She couldn't believe it. I said, sometimes our parents do weird things and it's not weird. They're craving, something's telling them to do it and it's for a reason. We need to find the reason and stop complaining. So then she stopped complaining. She started buying the cough syrup. No problem, no problem. I said, give your dad whatever he needs. Don't argue about stuff, about wasting. Give him whatever he needs. Don't make it an issue. When you make up your mind that you're not going to make it an issue, there's going to be less arguing and less nagging and back and forth. Leave him alone. Told the same thing to myself. Said, leave the old people alone. If they want to drink, let them drink whatever they want to. They don't smoke. They don't have drugs. Leave them alone. So she let them alone, and he never got COVID. He died of other things, but he never got COVID. He never got a flu, never had a flu shot, never, all of these things, never had to deal with, but he was taking cough syrup every day. So elderberry is a better version, of course. Take it every day as a preventative. Because as we all keep saying, herbs do not work as an instantaneous thing. You have to be taking it daily as a daily routine for it to already be in your system. Because when you get sick, it's very hard for the herbs to really do anything at that point. You're going to have to switch to something more potent. Hey, badass. What did I miss in the chat? So yeah, I'm telling you, all of us are older, whether we want to admit it or not. And we're not going to, we need to make sure we have prevention. We don't want to risk getting sick. No herbs should be taken every day. The body needs a break. Yeah, exactly. Elderberry, I think it's safe every day, but I don't take it every day. Sometimes I skip a day, but yeah, I don't take, you have to do your research because there's things called adaptogens that are safe to take daily versus things that you take in season. And you should take a break. I take a break every so often where I just take nothing at all for 2 weeks. And then I drink my tea though, and then you start back again. So do your research because some things are okay. Some things are not okay. And it depends how potent you're making things. But again, you have to do your own research. Yeah. Most people have a cup of, either you drink coffee or you drink tea. If you make the basic changes in what you're taking, you'll find improvements. For instance, coffee is a heavily sprayed product. Nothing wrong with drinking coffee, but where you're sourcing your coffee from needs to be looked at. How it's harvested as well. If it's being sprayed, so you have to make sure that it's organic, it's not sprayed. It's better off you buy the beans and grind it yourself, or you can get at a grocery store. There's a grinder there. You can buy enough for what you need for the week, and you grind that, and then you buy that. You don't have to buy a bulk bag of ground stuff that's going to just start to go a little stale. So it's up to you, but source out better products. And people like to complain, oh, it's so expensive. Being sick is more expensive. You calculate how much it's going to cost you right now if you're sick and you cannot work. You calculate that. When I went to the doctor last week, when she was sick, she came sick. Again, weird. A medical note used to cost $10. And that's back in the day, I know. My doctor, my other one before she retired, it was still $10. because all you're doing is writing a note to say that you are sick. Just to get a note right now is $25. So you're sick, you can't go to work. Some people get their full pay, some people get partial pay. Some people only get full pay for 20 days, depending on your company. Some people get no full pay, but you get unlimited sick days. You figure that out for yourself. You have to pay $25 for a note. You have to go on leave and you have to get notes for the insurance companies. It's $50 for a note. And to fill out the forms is more money on top of that to fill out the forms alone. Then you have to still fill your prescriptions and pay your deductions for your company for your benefits because you have to still pay those fees. And then you start adding up how much it costs to be sick. It's cheaper to buy better quality food, better quality supplements, better quality herbs on the front end than to be sick and pay things on the back end. And when you're sick, the fees never stop. Then you can't enjoy your day-to-day life, let's say, because you're sick, you're ill, you're disabled, you have to still pay your bills, your mortgage, there's all these things, and then to prove that you're sick, you have to pay money to prove that you're sick because they don't believe you. So you got to fill out these notes and pay these fees. And the doctors are sitting there getting rich just to write a note. It's very disgusting, but that's the system that we live in. So what you say you can't afford, you better think again, because if you're sick, you're going to be paying up the woo-ha just for notes. Sure, badass. Growing and using your own herbs is more potent than purchased from the store. Yeah, exactly, the freshness. On Christmas I cooked. I did most of the cooking, and I used the herbs from the garden because even in the dead of winter, all your thymes are still harvestable. My English thyme, my lemon thyme, the lavender. I go out there and I cut them and I harvest them. I even harvest them just to sprinkle in the chicken run and the chicken coop to keep the freshness in there. They're still harvestable. There's winter doesn't destroy all your growing options. It just makes some things more difficult. But I'm harvesting my herbs no problem. The ones in pots have to go in the garage because it's different. But when they're in the ground, they're more resilient. So I'm going to focus a bit more next season on transplanting some herbs in the ground, but not too many because I don't want them. Mint, hell no. Lemon balm, probably not. Things that are very uncontrollable and take over, no. But I might change even the type of pots, like a thicker double pot, and figure that out. That's pretty much what's going on over here. But yeah, let's start the new year right. So get your herbs planted. I think most of you in the South can get seedlings or plant seedlings now outside. Also, as part of this spring or early spring seed starting setup, we're going over that. I saw a few people clean their stuff. I know Broke Farmer did a cleaning of all his seed trays. This is part of the gardening process. I prefer to clean them in the spring versus when I'm finished with them in the fall. I leave them dirty and then I clean them in the spring. But now's the time to start cleaning your seed trays because some people have a lot to say in the comments. When I'm watching people's comments, it's like ridiculous. But starting seeds indoors is almost kind of like an artificial process. You're taking nature, but you're doing it inside in an indoor environment. You're using grow lights, not sunlight. You're using, potting mix or using, coconut, whatever you're using. The point is that you're taking nature and you're bringing it inside. Once you start using seed trays and containers, bacteria can form on it and whatever pathogens can form on the stuff. You have to sanitize and keep things clean. Somebody made a comment on someone's video about, well, nature does something. Nature can't fix your problems indoors. Nature, that's not nature anymore. You've taken it inside your house. If you plant things outdoors, there's natural microbiome and bacteria in the soil that will kill, and it's more balanced. But when it's indoors, there's no good bacteria. You have a sterile environment and a sterile growing medium sometimes, and your containers need to be kept sterile because all you're doing is creating a breeding ground for negative bacteria, and they're going to overgrow and they're going to cause a problem, and even gnats and stuff. So you need to sanitize your stuff. That means also your your scissors and your shears that you use to cut seedlings, or you use to do stuff, anything that you use to shovel in the dirt into the seed trays, all of these things need to be cleaned and sanitized. Now, anybody can do what they want in terms of what they clean with, because there's a whole debate. Well, use this, use that, use that. You can use cleaning vinegar, which is very potent. Not it's not regular vinegar. You can use hydrogen peroxide, which is excellent as well. You can use the natural soaps, like the Dr. Bronner's and the natural soaps, and you can maybe add an extra drop of peppermint oil or whatever you want in there to clean. You can use bleach, whatever you use, it's fine. It's up to you, but you need to clean and sanitize all the seed trays. This woman all the seed trays and all your utensils before you start your indoor seed growing. The same thing with hydroponics. Before I use my sponges, I learned this from G Mama and Mike's Chaotic. I soak my sponges in distilled water and a bit of hydrogen peroxide, because you don't know if the pH and anything is in the sponges before you plant in them. And you don't want to, waste all your time and energy on these expensive seeds, and then now they're just rotting in the sponges. Also, for your hydroponic kits and your actual devices, you clean them out between every use. Actually, you're supposed to clean them between how much days, which I don't do. I wait till the grow is finished, but then I clean out all the components and the sponge inside the hydroponic unit. You need to clean and sanitize it. So peroxide will be your best friend when you're doing indoor gardening for pretty much everything. Even your seed starting, if your seeds need a bit of more oxygen, you spritz it with a bit of peroxide. But you need to clean all your stuff before you start your indoor gardening. You need to make sure that when you buy a hydroponic unit brand new out the box, you need to wash it, because there's dirt and dust and debris on it, and that will affect your pH of the water. So you need to spend the time. Yeah, when you're doing indoor stuff, you're doing a lot of washing and sanitizing. I can tell you that. Um, Even the stones that you use for your hydro grows, your clay pebbles, they call them, you need to. G Mama did a video. She was boiling them in a particular pot that she has for cleaning her stuff. You need to clean the rocks. I was just washing them, but now I'm going to start heat treating and boiling them. Otherwise, you're going to affect. You'll be wondering why I'm not succeeding. Sometimes it's the containers that you're using. So don't buy cheap seed starting containers. Buy the good ones, because you're going to reuse them anyways. Don't buy the ones that are so cheap and disposable, but that you can't reuse them, because you need to be able to wash them. Some people put them in the dishwasher. I don't know about that. Maybe they wash them first and then I don't know. But put them in a bucket with hot water and get the heat on them, as well as clean them with a solution. If you have a steamer with the gun attachment, you can spray them with a hot steam, but you need to make sure that your stuff is clean. Otherwise, you may have a lot of seedling loss, and you're wondering why. Yeah, I finished the grow now, and then I clean the unit, and I'm going to be cleaning the rocks as well. These some of the things that you buy for gardening are reusable. So don't buy the cheapest, buy the best quality that can take the washing and the drying without rusting, without cracking and breaking and becoming fragile and brittle. Just this is where we need to spend our money on. Seeds, yes, but not to the degree. The money should be going into your seed starting kits, your tools, your utensils, to make your job easier, because you want to be able to reuse them. And if you're washing something and it's falling apart while you're washing it, you wasted your money. So buy the good stuff. I see people talking about Bootstrap Farmer. Whatever companies out there, buy the good stuff that's going to last. We don't have time to keep rebuying stuff. Now, the news. I don't go clean easy with my hydroponics, but I also transplant. So that's different. Yeah. So you're uh Cece's mentioning something about she plants her stuff outside. Exactly. So now she's letting nature fix those problems for her. Any bacteria, the good ones will come and take care of it. But if you're growing strictly indoors for the entire duration, that's when you have to start cleaning. If you're using your hydroponics as a seed starting method to transplant them outside, what I'm saying doesn't really apply to you. You're going to clean them a bit, because you're going to start a new grow, but you're not growing completely indoors. So that's using hydroponics to really start your outdoor gardening. No problem. I do that as well, but not so much, because I'll just start stuff in separate seed trays and put them outside. I'll leave my hydroponics indoors because the roots are so long. It's just annoying to just, I can't be bothered. And I'm in a colder zone, a shorter growing season. For me, I just keep each thing in its separate compartment and just leave it at that. If I was in a warmer climate, I'll be transplanting them as well too. No problem. And I'll start a next batch again and next just keep starting and put them outside. I don't have that option. I could put them in the garage. So that's another method of gardening for a colder climate, getting a grow tent and putting it in the garage. That's not available right now because of this. I gotta kind of keep cleaning it out and get space for that because putting it has to be inside a garage or a basement. My basement is rented out, so I don't have space for that. But yeah, if I can get things in a grow tent and in a controlled environment, that would be easier. But then again, I'm bringing nature indoors. It comes with its own set of problems, and you're going to have to learn to deal with them separately from outdoor gardening. A lot of the outdoor gardening, in a general sweeping statement, the bulk of the problems is insects. And I don't really have a problem with bacteria except for powdery mildew, and that's not hard to really fix. And if you're spraying your plants consistently with whatever, I think it's like milk powder, or people use peroxide, people use I think it was what's his name? Growing up the box. He had something, I can't remember. Was it milk? I think whey, which is milk. He sprays them like every week or 2 weeks throughout the growing season, and there's no powdery mildew. So there's things that you can do to fix those problems. But outdoor gardening, I don't have a bacteria problem. I have an insect problem. Every issue is insects either in the soil eating the roots, nematodes, earwigs, caterpillars, the cabbage loopers, leaf miners, spider mites, and I saw that bug for the squash vine borer, those kind of bugs. I don't have an issue with bacteria. The sun will sanitize everything for you automatically. You don't need to do anything else. You may have to put something in there to turn your soil before you plant to make sure that it's loomy and stuff, but outdoor gardening to me is easier. It's just the other animals that want to eat your food too. Indoor now, you don't have that help with nature, so those bacteria can actually spread and grow quite easily, and they're invisible, they're small, and you don't know what the problem is, but most likely than not, your units need cleaning and your water is not clean. There's something in the water. Now, for the news, we'll talk quickly about the news. This is the most disgusting week or 2 weeks of news I've seen in a long time, and the year just started. Between that nurse in the NICU of, don't ask me details because I can't remember, but this ugly lady, wicked woman, breaking babies' bones. Did you guys hear about the story in the NICU in somewhere? White fungus outside since moving to my new spot. Is white fungus different than powdery mildew? I better look that up. I know we had some kind of fungus at the cabbages somewhere else, but okay, you heard she said that wicked evil woman. And then they act like, so the father complained. The father did not hold his child, from what I saw in the news, because he was afraid he would have gotten blamed for breaking the bones or hurting the child. So he didn't really hold the baby. They act like you're crazy, like your complaint is unfounded. Then you find out that she was suspended for a year, and during that year, there was no babies with no broken bones. On paid leave, mind you. So you get to break baby's bones and get a paid leave. Then she come back, and then the bones are being broken again. So if somebody allegedly would like to find her, maybe, but I'm not telling you to do anything, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at some vigilanteism for some cases. Break the NICU is babies that are either premature or need special care. So not only are they a baby, which are fragile, they are special needs babies. And you're a nurse in the NICU. It's not like you're the nurse with the old people who are crying and carrying on and are more demanding. What demands does a baby have on you? All you have to do is make sure that everything is good to go. Maybe change a diaper here or there, and probably not. And maybe put a little, little bottle or feeder or whatever, whatever you're doing. You're not doing that much compared to people who are nursing on the other floors, who have to take care of older adults who have personalities, who don't want this, don't want that, and maybe actually hit you. Where like the Alzheimer's patients, you have one of the easiest jobs. It's very, I'm not mocking nurses. I'm specific in compared to other nursing's jobs, because you don't have any talking back. You don't have any. All you got to do is do what you're supposed to be doing, and it's more technical. Put the right equipment. Put this. Check the settings. Blah blah blah. And you still can't even do that. You have to go and break bones now. You need to go. No, she needs to go to prison. She needs to go under the jail and go down there with other missing persons. Mexico, I'm not going to say anything more, but she deserves what she deserves. Some people need to get what they get, and I have no problem sitting back and watching them get what they get. She does not deserve jail. She does not deserve a trial. She does not deserve an invest. She does not deserve none of the above. How do you break? I don't even, like, you're so delicate with these children. Because I know personally, people in my family, one child was 1 pound. They couldn't even get clothes for the baby because they were so small. They had to buy dolly clothes to put on the baby. Another person, same thing, had a premature. You're so delicate, and half the time they're in the I guess you call it an incubator. They're not even, like, you're not really holding them. They're in with tubes and stuff. So how do you, that means you intentionally snapped a bone because there was no need. You intentionally did it. It wasn't like you were handling the baby. They were in the glass thing, and all you got to do is, put tubes on and stuff. I've seen that. I've had to go there for friends' children. And you were paid for a year, and then you came back and did it again. You're a sociopath. She doesn't deserve jail. So if somebody wants to maybe find this person, I wouldn't be mad at that. Allegedly. What else happened in the news? The fires in California, and then the fires are one thing, but then the insurance companies dropped the fire coverage for most of the people, and everyone was mad at the insurance companies. But then another content creator said that some law was passed that prevented the insurance companies from raising their rates because, it's a high fire zone, so they were going to raise the rates. They were not allowed to raise the rates from what I saw in their video. And that kind of pushed the result of them canceling the fire coverage for most houses. So people not only are losing their houses, there's no coverage. The rebuilding is probably near impossible. So when you see people like devastated, this is a big, big catastrophe. And a lot of it, then you hear that the state or the city, I don't know the difference if it's city or state, decreased the funding for the fire department. Then they have jail birds, or whatever you call them, prisoners, taking themselves out to go and fight the fire. They're not trained on fighting fires. I don't care what they went to jail for. That's a big ask. So they're fighting, and people are even using water bottles. What can a water bottle do? They've literally been set up to fail. The whole region's been set up to fail. Then you hear that the two wealthiest couple owns most of the water in California to grow all this stuff. But there's not enough water. There's no water in the fire hydrants. There's no water anywhere. One man came home and his home is still standing, but the neighbor's house is burning, and he's trying to get help. But the fire department's overworked and understaffed. They can't get there in time. So he's taking water. But this is crazy. It sounds like Hawaii. Exactly. Sounds like Hawaii. And then somebody got caught in another video last night starting a fire somewhere in California, and somebody caught them and got them arrested. And the guy was putting out the fire and putting dirt over the fire because the person was so. I don't know, guys. So that's big in the news. Then what else happened in the news? Oh, our prime minister has resigned, and they're going to be finding another leader to run for the next election. So he resigned. And then your incoming person talked about the 51st state. He talks too much. And then our current person said be a cold day in hell or something to that effect, and the back and forth. So he's talking too much and he hasn't even gone in yet. And then talking about the man, listen, he's your leader, not mine. Let's just leave it at that. But he's talking a little too much and he hasn't gone into the office yet. Then me here said, I heard that your new leader, there's the NAFTA Kuzma, was NAFTA, now it's Kuzma. Mexico does not allow GMO corn into their country. But now they were taken to court or some legal proceedings because for the Kuzma, they cannot basically deny or refuse the GMO corn. So now the Mexican food, whatever you call it, the food industry is now going to be saturated with your GMO. I'll call it your GMO corn because they don't want it, and now they're forced to take it. And they use a lot of corn in their country for tortillas and other things. It's one of their main staples, but they had standards. Now they're forcing it onto them. So when people talk about trade agreements and that they're being taken advantage of, and we're not getting good end of a deal, your new leader, and that he's subsidizing all these other countries. People always tell the devil tells a little bit of truth with a lot of lies. And when you start to unravel the statements, there's a lot of lies in the statement. So do your own. And forcing a product that's substandard to a country. And then he says we don't want your cars, your milk, or whatever, your deer, whatever. Again, a very loaded statement because your all dairy was denied from other countries because of, from way back, the mad cow disease, and then the hormones in the milk that other countries don't want. And if you didn't need our milk, why are you buying the milk? Like, let's go back to the beginning of these statements. Like, if you don't want it, that's fine, but were you buying it? Let's talk about that. That's never mentioned. These broad stroke statements, volatile, inflammatory statements. You throw the rock and then you go and hide. God help us. I had no opinion of the matter, but now, God help us. It's going to be a rough ride. It's going to be a rough ride. Then we're on to Panama Canal. We're in over there now, saying stuff. It's going to be a rough time, guys. Get ready. Get your supplies and stuff ready, because with all this trash talking, you're forcing other people to react. And they might react just as petty as the person saying these statements. I know our premier, Doug Ford, mentioned that if the tariffs come in for 20% tariffs, he's cutting off the hydro. That's what he said. And I think he will. Because if you're going to play them games, we're going to retaliate. So bulls in China shops don't really do very well. Again, I don't have much of an opinion, but yet I'm still talking. When you're coming into leadership in a climate where world powers no longer really truly exist, in my opinion, it's a collective, and there's alliances being formed, and there's, BRICS. There's alliances being formed. So it's not world power and one world domination like it used to be. The one world domination will literally be the entire world in a collective unit, not one single world power. And coming in as a bull or a bully is not the best course of action, in my opinion. Alienating people, pissing people off, causing discord is not the best use of your leadership role. And insulting people, a whole nation of people, because I'm in Canada, as if our country is bigger than your country, but we're going to be a state? That's a loaded comment. Like, loaded. 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 No, thank you. I personally Don't want to be amalgamate with nothing. No disrespect to anybody. No disrespect to anybody. We each have our own opinion. I'm just sharing mine. I don't want to be. If people wanted to be in America, they would have went to America. People who like me who are immigrants, they picked where they wanted to go and they picked for a reason. Some people chose to go to America, some chose to go to England, some chose to go to Canada, and some people are in Europe and stuff. Some people stayed in their home country. But to make these statements like we don't want to be over there. We don't. We want to be over here. And there's things that we like and dislike about over here, like you like and dislike things over there. But to make a blanket statement that we're going to not even we're going to be a state, but our country is bigger than yours. So how are we just a state? Like, and then you're wondering why you're getting some negative reaction. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thanks. Hey, Gina. No, thank you. No disrespect. I think that is out of order. That's obnoxious. That's arrogant. And that is audacity at its worst. It's not a compliment. That's out of order. And the lack of respect, when people feel disrespected, the same how in the streets they react in a certain way, you're going to get a similar reaction, maybe more polished and respectable, but you're going to get a reaction. That's out of order. Out of order. Like some people should really have a coach on how to speak in public. Some people who are, in important roles need to get somebody to kind of help them with how to present and say things in public because this is not it. And it's funny. Ha, 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 ha. It's not funny. I can tell you that. We're laughing, but we're laughing with a side eye, like, keep our head on swivel because we ain't about that life. There's things that we like and dislike on both sides, but I do not want to combine with any place that allows sundowntowns. I'm not about that life. I'm not doing it. I'd rather stay over here with the problems we have here than to take on a whole slew of new problems and amalgamate them. No, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. So that's my opinion on that. Then hold on. See, did I miss? Oh, hey, Miss JK, and did I miss somebody else? That's how I feel about it. I think when you assume that your ish don't stink, and like no, we got stinky ish, and so do you, and let's deal with each of our stuff independently and not have this back and forth. It's just I don't like it at all, at all. What else did I see in the news? It's been a hot 2 weeks has been on fire. Oh, the two individuals that fired shots on the FedEx driver in a racist interaction got off. They're not going to get charged for that. I guess firing shots in public to an employee doesn't get any jail time or charges in this day and age. So it is what it is. Too bad, so sad. And there we go with the justice system. What else happened this week? I think that's about it. But it hasn't been good. The news has not been good for at least 2 weeks, and it's only going to get worse. Hey, Janet, it's just going to get worse. So just keep yourself ready. I'm growing more food than I have before indoors, and I have my supplies stocked up. I'm going to go restock on some water because I'm running low, but that's what I'm doing. I think also something else happened. I know there's a couple of places locally that have no heat. They haven't had heat since October. I found out about it this week, and some other even places in the States, same problem. So some kind of power problem, but they have no heat in the building, and it's been cold the last over here. It's been pretty cold. Like overnight, it's you need heat. So there's quite a few places. I haven't heard anything in the news, but that's being dealt with. Also over here, there's several missing children, and there was a meeting I went to on Zoom. There's going to be a meeting this week, Thursday coming. There was one that just passed. I missed that meeting, and the community is getting together to find solutions and to get more spotlight on it, as well as the proper protocol for missing persons, because the databases are not being updated. People don't know that these people are missing. Social media has been spreading the news more than the police and the so forth. So the police are involved in the meetings, the government officials are involved in the meetings, and it's being escalated. It's taken to the next level. There's a lot of missing people. I think part of the missing, they're children, but they're not young children. They're like teenagers. I think what's happening is and this is like hearsay. I don't know for sure. Somebody mentioned that there's some drug stuff happening. Hey, Nick. Yeah, that happens all the time. People disappear and you have to kind of find them and come back. There's some drug stuff going on, which has always been going on. This is not new here, not new to me. I know I've known this. But a lot of kids are going up, not telling their family, up to the northern regions. And they're either smuggling, muling, or doing some deals. Some have come back, some are still missing. Some younger children are gone missing as well. It could be initiation or some behaviors going on that's fueling the missing children, because it's not just missing, they're not being kidnapped from what they said, they're not running away per se, but something weird is going on, and it's very noticeable. There's somebody also here from Jamaica who came here for a rugby tournament. He's been missing for several months. Didn't know about that till I saw it on social media. So I don't know if these people are coming here illegally. That used to happen back in the day. I don't know, but something is not quite right and we need to figure it out. I think I'm seeing an increase in missing children in most major cities. When you start looking at the local news, there's an increase in missing children. And over here, it's a lot of boys, which has been unusual. Girls have always had a higher number in general, but the boys, the numbers have peaked since, I guess, October, November, and there's a lot of young men that are just missing. So keep your eyes open to see what's going on in your neighborhood. The crime rate is through the roof. So I can only imagine what's going to happen in California and other places, that people take these times and take advantage, but the crime is up over here. The break-ins, the carjackings in broad daylight. Somebody was recording. Hey, Nikki. Someone was recording the cars in front of them, and Mercedes or some kind of nice car, SUV, had a gun pointed at them in broad daylight, and they had to actually leave the car and stand at the light, and the people then drive off with their car. Broad daylight. This is happening. Home break-ins are at an all-time high. Just be careful, because there's a lot going on and not everything is being put on the news. You have to keep your ears low to the ground and know what's going on. And there's a definite increase in gang activities. I call it it's all gang, whether it's a street gang or a higher up gang, it's still a gang. And they're definitely heavily involved in incentivizing people to do these things. And literally, cars are gone the same night in a container, and they're gone offshore to another country. So those are high-end people involved in this type of logistics to get these things out the country so fast. So just be mindful what's going on. Even people in California, be careful, because all they do is now say, oh, people are left defenseless. Now's the time to kind of go and take stuff. Those who don't have fire damage and don't have any issues, you keep your head on swivel, because this is what happens. They use these times to increase their criminal activity and do their thefts, because you're not gonna call the fire department. You can't call the police. By the time they get there, you're pretty much on your own. What else did I see this week? Something else that I saw that I can't remember right now, but that's basically it. There's a lot going on in these streets. Keep an eye on what's going on. Keep the pieces. Put them together yourself, because they're not going to put the pieces together for you. Oh, the fog. There's that whole issue with the fog. I watched a video this morning, and there's two videos. One of one individual who had his dog bowl outside. So that rain and then also the fog had come. And there's some movement in his, like, the dog water bowl. It was some weird stuff. So he put it under a microscope. I don't know if you guys also saw this. And it was like full of worms and parasites. It was disgusting. The other individual, same thing. So this fog that was going around, I don't remember where it went, but everyone was talking about this fog. It wasn't just fog. More likely than not, from what this individual was saying, parasites can be breathed in quite easily. And if you're breathing in all these parasites, and these parasites looked huge under the microscope, but they're invisible. They were multiplying like a lot. And I mentioned this before that a lot of us don't believe in parasites, but that is the reason why we have a lot of sickness and disease. So yes, there's this fog, and you may think there's a chemical in the fog. I don't think there's a chemical in it now that I saw this. There's parasites. Parasites multiply quickly and cause problems. And then when you catch something, it's harder for you to get over it. So those of you who are exposed to any kind of fog or whatever happened, your water is now contaminated because the outdoor water was full of these parasites. Good morning. Sounds pleasurable. And you're probably contaminated. So you're gonna have to do some kind of, again, my opinion, not medical advice, start doing your cleanses and your parasite cleanse. That's why I'm on the wormwood. I'm taking certain things on a gentle to constantly be cleaning my system out. And you'll probably realize, I haven't gotten sick. I usually get sick a lot of the times. I haven't gotten sick. I gotten stuffed up, like I'm stuffed up right now, but it usually drains out. But I'm doing the oregano oil. I swear by that. And now the wormwood, because it's antifungal, antimicrobial, and it also helps clean out parasites. And I've been doing this pumpkin seeds. I haven't gotten sick. And all this sickness going around right now, especially with the children, yep, you got to. But whoever was exposed to that fog, there's people who've tested out under the microscope the water and the droplets. They're full of parasites. You talk about chemical warfare. It's not just chemicals. I've never heard of this before, but it's a parasitic fog, allegedly, from what I saw, and I believe it. So just recommending keep your deworming, your cleansing and stuff. Yep, keep that up because it's going to help you. Good morning, Darren. So that's pretty much it for me. Have a great week. I'm going to get some groceries and get some stuff going on, get my day going. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's cold, but it's beautiful and sunny. And make sure that I have what I need. There's snowstorms going around the U.S. I don't want to be on the road if I don't have to with the crowd. So I'm going to have my food, my supplies, my stuff here. Oh, for those of you who the announcements, follow Bayou Sugar. This Monday, the 13th to the 16th, we're doing a lifestyle change. But they're starting on the Monday with the detoxing, which is whatever you want to do. She's not giving any advice or tips. It's just you find whatever detox that you want to do. And for those 3 days, you're doing it. And then after the detox is 7 days of no processed sugar or no sweetener. I don't know all the details. I think you can have like coconut sugar and stuff like that, but there's no. So for those of us who are joining that, I'm already detoxing now, which is why I'm getting all these pimples and stuff. I'm detoxing slowly, so I'm getting that done. But if you want to join that, she has 2 videos on her channel already explaining it. So you're starting on Monday with the detox, and then you're doing a no sugar, no processed sugar. Whiteside Tactical did a video on Thursday. It's up there on his channel talking about, I think it was diabetes. I believe it's diabetes, but don't quote me. Either way, whatever it is, watch it. It's very good. They'll be going live again, I think soon, they said, on another topic. If you have any questions that you want answered, I think you could put them in their comments or DM them on Instagram or email them, and then they'll answer those questions ahead of time, like prepare the answer and discuss it in the next live. They had a video previously before about blood pressure. Go check that out. There's 2 doctors on the panel, Derek Whiteside and the other doctor, I can't remember his name. And then, Eric already is on there as well too. So you're getting good information. You can ask your questions. Hey, Happy Mac, please make sure that you're tapping into these people who are giving you good information and good resources. I'm just trying to think. I don't think anything else, other announcements. The usual lives, Wind Down Wednesdays, the chat. I don't know if they're on today. Miss Shirley OG's on Thursday evenings, as well. Odom's Homesteads on Thursday evenings. Gina's on Fridays. She didn't go yesterday, but I think she's going Sunday for she might be going Sunday for I forgot what it's called. Is it goal setting Sundays or um I forgot the name of the Sunday setup Sundays, but Gina is probably going live on Sunday. I'm not sure. Um, Broke Farmer, I don't know if he's going live this Sunday. I think it's every other Sunday. He does members only now, so check out him. And I don't remember anybody else. Mindset. Okay, thank you. Mindset Sundays. So I think that's 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Thank you, guys. Okay, I see it now, and some, and also the WIG 2024. Upload your videos with your updates on your indoor gardening, and next week we'll talk some more about seed starting. Well, I might go every other week. I'm not sure. Right now, I'm in the middle of some stuff, and it's going to be finished at the end of the month, but now it got bumped up to the 24th. So I'm trying to get that dealt with. But we'll talk about seed starting and some recommendations and some about the cleaning of their stuff as well. So you have a better idea for those who are getting ready to start their gardening seedlings for the spring 2025. Okay, so be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a blessed week. And I'll see you in these streets. All right, take care. Bye bye.